Our next guest has been on the forefront of progress. They say pay up, and people are now listening. First, she was one of the best defensive players in Women's World Cup history. She helped lead her team to wins in 2015, 2019, and was a member of the 2016 Women's Olympic Soccer team. Please welcome the great Ali Krieger! Come on out, ma'am! Yes! Yes! Look at that! Oh my gosh, thank you so much for being here. Nice to see you. All right. Thank you so much. You know, there's so much to talk to, and my earring is falling off, so I'm just going to go without them right now.
Well,
all right,
cute.
And before we launch in, here's the thing. It's true that sports are ultimately a business, and we have the women, or one of the women that I met, who helps create the business model, brings more than revenue to National Soccer, Women's Soccer League. Please welcome a friend of mine, a new friend of mine, and she talks it like she walks it, NWSL Commissioner Jessica Berman. Come on out, Jessica. Tell you a little bit about my life behind the scenes here. I was at a dinner party, all women, and Jessica was there, and she started talking about the pay up and women, and it just dovetailed into this greater conversation, because this is not about superior female sports stars or women sports stars. This trickles down in every aspect of our lives. So the battle that you're fighting on the field is to help every woman right now in their workplace, in their industry, no matter what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The fight for us was never just about us as individuals and players and a team and in sport. This was a fight for all women across all industries, not only who play sport in different countries as well, to encourage them to fight for what they also believe in, but this was for all women in all industries, all over the world, and we knew how important it was. So that pressure for us to really thrive and really fight for what we believe in, what we actually deserve, and ultimately respect, that was why it was so important.
And Jessica, when I look at this picture and Ali is standing there, when I saw it the other night, it actually teared me up, because that's who we're fighting for too. Right? These little guys behind her.
100%. And one of the greatest joys I have as commissioner is actually watching these little kids. And it's the little girls, but it's also the little boys. I have 2 young boys. And actually watching boys and girls watch these incredible athletes, you can see the world change before their very eyes, and they redefine what's possible. Watching incredible athletes like Ali.
And I'm happy you said you have a son. I have a son as well, as everyone knows, and I'm not bringing this up just for me. It's for him. You know, so the battle is not exclusive to just, okay, we want girls to be, you know, as somebody said, little badasses, and we want you to be that, little girls, but it trickles down, because when you're trying to take care of your family and you're making less than the male counterpart, that affects your child no matter their gender. It does trickle down to our children. And so for you, now according to the U.S. Soccer, the final match of the 2015 Women's World Cup was the highest rated soccer match in United States history, right? United States history. 26.9 million people. So, and then I'll drop another number here. Nielsen data, 2019, nearly 3 million people, more people tuned into the final game of the Women's World Cup than the men's a year earlier. So, the data, you can't hide behind that story that people aren't watching women's sports. So how did you make the effective case?
Well, that in itself, the facts are the facts. And
but you know, people try to create their own facts. I used to do political, you know, they try to create their own facts.
Right, but you know, the numbers are there, and it's for everyone to see. And I also think that, you know, behind the scenes, fighting 6 years, you know, making federal complaints, and then obviously 3 years of, you know, litigation, it's what we knew we had to do in order to create the change that we wanted to see, not only for us, for the future. And we were willing to put in that work. We knew how hard it was going to be, and even if they said no at the beginning, we knew we were going to continue to fight and continue to not accept anything other than a yes.
Well, that's the thing. People don't realize you actually had to file a lawsuit.
Right.
So when you're at home and you're thinking about, like, I don't, it's not even a meeting. I've made the case. I'm here with other female athletes. I have strong support from, but now I have to sue you.
Right.
I gotta sue you to get you to treat me right.
And it's suing your employer.
It's suing your employer, which is scary.
Yeah, it is, because you're like, well, I guess they can fire me at any moment, right? But, this was really important for us. We knew we had an upper hand because we were stronger in numbers and we were stronger together. And then we were also winning. We're winning World Cups.
Wow.
We are winning Olympics. And thank you. We knew we had to do that in order for them to listen.
Right.
So on top of the pressure of just being a female athlete and a professional athlete to just play at that high level consistently over years, we also had to come together and be like, we have to multitask really well because we have to fight for us and for what we deserve, but we also have to win so that they can listen and so that they see that we are also
Let me tell you,
deserving.
every time now I think of a goal, I get bigger chills because what's behind it. I'm so excited. We are here with two-time Women's World Cup champion, Ali Krieger, and the Commissioner of the National Women's Soccer League, Jessica Berman. Off the field, they are leading the movement to fight for fair pay in sports that trickles down to every conversation about fair pay. So, Jessica, you have a unique perspective because you worked in men's sports. So you know what they're making and all the other stuff. She knows all the this is the accountant mind here. So help me understand. We know that the data supports that we are all supporting and watching women's sports. Why is the argument not sticking? Help me because you've seen it from both sides.
Yeah, so I think the challenge has been that there are truly systemic barriers. When we talk about the isms, it's not just that micro conversation you have where you experience microaggressions. There are actually systemic blocks to be able to advance women and people of color and marginalized and underrepresented communities. And if you look at the Women's World Cup, the problem is that when you have those underlying isms, people view it as like a one-off. Well, that was just like a one-time thing. And women's sports historically haven't been given consistent exposure. Right. Now, for the first time, and this is actually the call to action for people who want to support and invest in women, we actually need people to show up. We need them to watch.
Yes.
We need the eyeballs. So when you see that for a random regular season game in men's sports, it's a given that X number of millions of people will watch. We need people to actually turn on their TVs. And so for the first time, the NWSL is going to be on national TV over 100 times in our season. So this is the show up moment.
Right.
We have to actually deliver. All of our hypotheses about having it be where people watch sports is now going to be tested. And so on March 15, we open our season on Amazon Prime. Actually, Ali's former team, Gotham. So we call it Friday Night Football.
Friday Night Football.
Friday Night Football.
Okay, March 15th.
And on Saturday, March 16, it's our first ever game on ABC.
Listen, I'm telling you now, March 15th, March 16th, I don't care what you're doing, but you better have a TV in front of you.
Buy merch, go to games, support these incredible athletes. They are as entertaining, if not more, than any athlete you ever will watch.